Hello, my friends. This bag represents the first silver I bought in a couple weeks. The price of silver going up so much, I just haven't been buying any. Now, this is a generic 5-gram silver bar. But the thing about this is, at recent prices, this is worth more than $10. Not that long ago, it's been a year or two probably, I got this other one. Get it out of the bag here. I believe when I bought this one, which is also 5 grams, I think this one was $5 when I bought it a few years ago. Now the difference between the two is this one's thicker, while the other one's thinner and flatter. Well, not flatter, just not as... It's a little wider, a little taller, and a bit thinner. See, you'll be able to see. It's definitely thinner. But yeah, I haven't bought that much silver lately because the prices went up so much. I mean, previously, before that, actually, Liberty Bleeds Silver, I got this piece, 5-gram piece, for about melt value. Now, the one that was a little bit more pricey was this King Tut round, which is a 1/4 ounce of 3/9 fine silver. It's a neat piece, and I quite like these Monarch metal ones. Now, a few years ago, after I'd sent the Kansas Kid several things, he sent me some stuff, including this. It's also Monarch metals. This is Egyptian theme, 1 troy ounce poured bar or pressed bar. I don't know exactly how they make this, but it's 3/9 fine and it's 1 ounce. Today, it'd probably, if you ordered one of these and they had it in stock, would probably be about $70, maybe more. But he sent me that a few years ago because I had sent him quite a few things. And that's the Kansas Kid. Now, let's go and look at a couple of the other pieces I got, which is cost about the same. Got a generic 2.5 gram one. And on this side is a depiction of our solar system, the 4 inner planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. They did not include Pluto in the planets, which they're not counting it as a planet. It's kind of small. Now I got 2 of these, and I think these are real cool looking. They're 2 grams. It's a triangle shape, and I'm not sure who made this. 3/9 fine silver, but I got 2 of them, and here's the second one. It's the same thing. And I like those. Now, I was at my regular coin dealer's, and I got a few things from him, and we'll go over a few of them right now. Yeah, the triangles are real cool. So, if you saw my live a few weeks ago, or a month or so, I had gotten one of these Pony Express ones. Well, I got a second one today. It's the same one, same theme, relay station, the 75th anniversary of the Pony Express. It's not silver, and it's not super valuable. I paid $4 for it. We'll smash staples with the pliers. This particular thing was probably not made in real high numbers, though. It's one of the things that drew me to it. Plus, I do like the idea of showing the horse rider, and it shows 1860 to 1935. That's 75 years of Pony Express, and they pretty much had shut down, that is, when this was issued later, I believe, right afterwards. Now, I did buy this. This is for Addicted to Minis. I'm loving it. That is a ship. You wouldn't really refer to a 3-mast sailing ship as a boat. But this was done to commemorate John F. Kennedy. That's a $10 denomination. But if you find these in $20 denominations, they are 3/9 fine silver. And I have a couple of those. To show right now. It's the same design on the back. It's got the ship on it. This one's for the Constitution, $20 face. This is about 0.64 ounces of 3/9 fine silver. It's thinner than a regular round. And the other one I have has some toning dirt on it. And it's for Theodore Roosevelt. Now, I have another one, but it's not handy. In fact, I don't know exactly where it is, but it's around here somewhere. Now, going back to some of the stuff I also got. I bought a few random world coins from my coin dealer. One thing I always wondered about these bimetal coins, I paid $0.25 for it. Can you separate the center from the ring, and how hard would it be to do it? I might experiment and try it. I've got quite a few of these bimetal coins, and I could do it if I wanted to. Yeah, these fractionals, like these, one of them's a 3/9 fine gram bar, and the other ones are sterling, made by, I believe it's the Hamilton Mint. Don't buy them too often, but I did score these fractionals here, the triangles in them, for right about melt, which with 9.5 grams of 3/9 fine silver, that's pretty close to $10 worth. I mean $20, I'm sorry. Now, I don't know what country this is from. This is Republica, and then this is CESRA. And it has a denomination of 50, I'm not sure, 2010s on it. A little silver pause. Oh, a long time I've been collecting, Doug. I've been collecting since I was a kid. All right. Out of that bag of stuff for 25 cents was this. Now, I'm not even sure what this thing is. I think I can see some details on it. In fact, I can see some details. But whether or not there's enough on this to be able to identify what this is, I'm not sure. I bought it just out of the, random bag of coin things for a quarter. I'm not even sure what this thing is. I think there are some designs on it. Oh, you mean this? Cheschia, or however it's pronounced. Alright. Moving on to the final couple things that I got that were just random world coins. This is a Swiss half franc. Slippery little thing. Half franc. 1969. This one's copper nickel. But it's in decent shape. A little bit of wear on it, not too bad. But in that same bag was this one. I want you to look at it closely before I flip it over. See if you can tell a difference in the color of them. So when I flip it over, it's also a half franc coin, but this one's from 1964, which this is 835 silver, and I got it for a quarter because the coin dealer I bought from had a bunch of coins and probably didn't look at all of them. And he said anything in the bag was a quarter, so I was able to pick out a silver coin for 25 cents that probably should have been $3 or $4. Now, let's move on a little bit. Silver's over 60 bucks or around there. So I didn't buy any random 90% coins that are near melt. But I bought, this is 1893, and it's Orleans mint. See the O partially worn. But this coin is a little bit lower mintage. If it hadn't been good for, it would have been a lot more money than it was. And it is quite a bit over melt at $10. And then someone wrote 23, that's probably the bid price. He put 10 because it's not as in good a shape. It's not good for, and if you put it at $23, it probably isn't going to sell. Now, let's talk about the other one I got today. This one's pretty nice. You can see that the Liberty is entirely there. It's kind of hard to get some of these seated Liberty dimes where they have all the Liberty on that shield, but it's clearly all there. This one is 1891 Orleans, so this is the last year of the seated Liberty dimes. They use this same back for the Barber series instead of making a whole new design for the back. Don't know why exactly, but there's probably some reason. But they made these seated Liberty coins from the 1830s up to 1890, so they made them about 50 years. It's a nice one. $12 for one with full Liberty on it, and one of the mints that don't typically make as many. The Orleans Mint generally did not make as many dimes and quarters and half dollars as Philadelphia and San Francisco when they started making these. Looks like there might be a little chip on the shield there below the B on those two lines. But this is a pretty nice coin for $12, in my opinion. Now, I didn't buy anything else today. I've already showed everything I bought. I want to talk about silver as an investment. Well, some people like to say silver is an investment. But when you talk about investments, you're talking about this kind of stuff, 90% silver. And granted, well, this stuff's even, it's even older. It's not 90%, it's 89.2 or something. It doesn't matter. These you generally will not be able to get anywhere near melt value, but I did when I bought these. But getting back to the topic of silver as an investment, if you're going out right now and you're buying stuff like any kind of 1 ounce silver bar. Hello, Mr. Silver Eagle. If you're buying this stuff today, you're paying probably $65, $70 for this piece. I'm holding it upside down. It's a neat piece, but the danger is that silver goes back down and you buy a lot at $60+ a piece. All of a sudden you're holding on to a lot of silver that you paid a lot more for, and the Kansas kid calls that going into silver debt. It's not going into debt to buy it, it's going into debt because the value of the silver is now at a price, if it drops to say 30, that if you paid 60, you would not be able to sell it and get your money back. Now this is a 2001. This is a neat toning, but it's probably not natural, is what I'm going to guess. I bought this a few months ago, well, maybe last summer. I'm not sure exactly when I got it, but I paid the price of a generic round practically, because the coin dealer I bought it from does not like toning at all. I thought this looks kind of neat, even though I don't think it's natural. Well, the price of silver could do anything. Last time it got anywhere near this kind of price, it went back down and stayed down for many years. I do not know whether it's going to go up or down from here. No one does. But the way this stuff, this 90% right now, the smelters, the refiners don't really want this stuff because it takes a little extra work to process it than 3/9 fine silver like this. Although this would not be a piece that you would take, for that purpose. I mean, unless, like you have a huge collection, you pass on and your children take your collection and sell it. That might happen. But you don't want to sell this. You'd want to sell a buffalo or something like that. Something considered generic, even like these. These are 3/9 fine silver. They're not quite, they're a little less than an ounce, not quite 2/3. I think it's 0.64 something ounces. They're not near as thick as a 1 ounce piece, and you can kind of compare them to American Silver Eagle and you'll see the thickness difference. Silver Eagle, I think the diameter's slightly bigger too, and it's thicker than these are. But these aren't the kind of thing that really matters if they get handled, because they're already partially mucked up. But no, if you're going to buy 90%, and you're going to buy a whole bunch of half dollars, say you buy 100 half dollars at today's prices, you're paying over $20 to get them. And let's say something happens and you want to sell them because you have to raise some money and you don't have enough cash. Well, you go down to the same guy you bought it from. If he's in the business of buying and selling, he's not going to pay you what you paid for it, unless you might, if you've been a big customer of his for years and years and years, you probably get a better price. But if he pays you what, he make a few dollars per coin. So let's say you bought it at $20 a coin, and he's like, well, the most I can sell them for right now is about $21 each. I'm going to offer you 18, and I'll make $3 a coin, and you have to decide, is that fair? If you don't think it's fair, your other option is to get yourself a booth at a vendor type place and sell them yourself and ask what you want for them. May not sell real quick though. So you could be in a situation where you have a bunch of silver and you want to sell it, but you can't sell it for a price that you feel reasonable about. I'm going to make any kind of money. I'm not going to make as much as I thought. Because these, if I went to sell them today, with silver being about $20 in this barber, and these a little bit more, but they're worn real bad. I mean, if I took it to a dealer today and tried to sell these, he'd probably offer me about, at best, $15, $16 for the $half, this one. And you might give a little more for these just because they're older, even though these are worn pretty bad, as you can see. So in that manner, silver is not really an investment, in my opinion. And the difference between these is the older ones have a bigger diameter. They started out heavier. In fact, they start out half of what a Morgan weighs, 13 something grams. Now, the difference is, let's say you bought stocks, or you bought mutual funds. Well, if you decide to go and take your mutual funds and redeem $1,000 worth, they will give you $1,000 check. Now, if you're trying to sell what was $1,000 worth of silver and you want to sell it quick, your odds of being able to get 1,000, you're probably going to have to sell $1,200-$1,300 melt value worth of silver to get the same $1,000. And not only that, I mean, mutual funds and silver both go up and down every day with the market. We all know that. But the difference with the mutual fund is it may pay quarterly dividends, which this stuff doesn't. You buy 10 ounces, 100 years from now, it's still 10 ounces as long as it didn't get melted or damaged. It's still 100 ounces. 20 years from now. Let's keep it within a lifetime. I did say 100, but so there's your difference. And not only that, your mutual funds and stocks in general and stuff may pay you, besides the dividends, may pay you capital gains in the form of rendering the NAV lower and giving you more shares back. So after 20 years of owning mutual funds, let's say you had 100 shares of them in 20 years, and they pay a quarterly dividend, and most of the years there's capital gains. By the time 20 years go by, you might have 150 shares, maybe more, depending on what you buy. And if what the NAV was when you bought them is the same or higher, well, 150 shares means you've got a lot of them you made when you redeem that. So in that manner, to me, I don't think you can call silver a total investment like that. I mean, it is an investment to the point that it has a value. The value goes up and down every day. But the difference is, in a lot of ways, if you want to sell your silver, you're not likely to sell to someone in the business reselling it for any kind of price that you think you should be able to get. Because if they're going to resell it, they have to make it worth their time. And so, I don't know, a lot of people like this, pawn shops especially, they want to make double whatever they paid for something. Well, if you walk in with, say, Barber $50, and you wanted to sell them, I don't know, a row of them. A row of these at recent melt value is like $20 a coin, give or take. Well, you got 20 of them, that's $400. But if they pay you $400, that might be all they can get for them. So they're probably going to pay you less. And if they want to double their money, they're probably only going to offer you about $200. And at that point, you either have to decide to take it because you need the money, or you have to try to get your money some other way. But that, to me, is how silver isn't really a total investment, basically. I mean, sure, I got tons of it, and a lot of it I bought when it was in the teens, so that stuff, even if I sold it for less than its melt value, I still will make money. Just how much am I going to make? That's the big question. So I always like to be able to get fractionals if I can get them at the melt value. But even with that, these 2-ounce triangles, or 2 gram, I mean, the 5 gram bar and the 2.5 gram bar with the solar system on it. I really like that, though. That's kind of neat to put that on the flip side of this. Now, it's not the scale, of course. I mean, but you can't do that on a 2.5 gram bar and make any way to really see the planets. So 9.5 grams cost me $20 because silver, there's 31 grams in an ounce, 31.1, so 9.5 is almost 10. I paid $20 for this fractional, which isn't bad if you ask me, because usually a lot of times when you buy this, you pay a premium, unless of course you buy it from someone who lets you buy lots of stuff from, and he sells it to you at melt or really near melt, which is what he sold this 1/4 ounce piece to. He didn't charge much over at silver. I might have paid about $1 premium. It wasn't bad though. How much you pay for your 100 gram of silver? 100 gram of silver is, hold on a second. $100 of silver. How much should this poured Scottsdale bar cost today? I know what I paid when I bought it. It's about 3 ounces plus a little. Let's see how much it is now. Well, if you buy that direct from Scottsdale Mint, I'm looking at a price. The best price is $210. If you buy it with a credit card, and you just buy one, it's going to be $219. And I know when I bought this, I did not pay that much, but silver was a lot less when I bought this than it is now. That ain't it. I'm really not 100% sure. I don't remember exactly what I paid for it. But I'm not going to pay $200 to buy another one. It's just a lot of money. This might be the bag I got this in originally, and that looks like it says 100 and something, $105 maybe. I bought it when silver was in the 20s, I believe. So you're not going to get that kind of price today. But I'm going to go ahead and tie up this thing and bring it to an end and talk about sometimes when your coin dealer has a bag of random world coins, if you know your world coins, this one's was a quarter. Now, this one is copper nickel. It's Swiss half franc. This one, though, it's toned up on this side. It is a 1964. The difference is this one's 835 silver, and probably shouldn't have been in a bag where everything was a quarter. This isn't a lot of silver, but anytime you can get a silver coin for a base coin price, I feel like I won. These Swiss coins are pretty neat looking, actually. I've got quite a few of them that are 1 franc and 2 franc coins. This isn't a whole lot of silver in it. I don't even know exactly what its ASW is, but it's easy to find out. All right. The melt value on this is a little right around $4 at current prices, and it, like I said, it's 835 silver. ASW is 0.067 or something like that. So it's a little around $4 worth of silver at current silver prices. However, the price for this coin listed on this world coin price guide I was just looking at, this is a reasonably nice condition coin. It's going to be worth more as a collector coin than its silver weight, according to that. You know, because they say on that a fine condition one is worth almost $40, which I think would be a very hard sell to sell a coin like this for $40, but it's worth more than its silver, so it has a premium. But anyway, I've pretty much covered what I want to talk about. And tell you that when you're out looking at these dimes, if you're buying these seeded liberties and you can find them with the full liberty, that's kind of rare these days. These stayed in circulation a long time. This might have been helped the fact that it is the last year they made them, but you can still tell it did see circulation. But full liberty's pretty cool on this. It's pretty hard to get. And if you can find these barber dimes of full liberty, they're going to be a lot, because the liberty's up here on the headdress, and this one's long gone for that purpose. But anyway, I've covered what I wanted to cover tonight. Looked over some stuff, and it's the first time I've went live in 2 weeks, and it's the first time I've bought much of anything in silver and for about 3 or 4 weeks. I don't even remember exactly when it was I last bought any silver, but it's been a little while. But with silver over $60 an ounce, though, it's pretty hard to justify buying it at that kind of price, because if you buy a lot at 60 and say it goes to 30, well, you've got a lot of silver that you can't afford to move it unless you feel like taking a loss. The only good thing about taking a loss is you can write off some of it. We'll look at this Silver Eagle again. The toning is probably not natural, but when I bought this, it was, I believe, $30, which at the time silver was running around 30, and it was priced the same as buffaloes and stuff. And you said, yeah, usually you don't get to buy a Silver Eagle for a generic price, so I was kind of happy to get it, even with the toning, which I think looks cool. But like I said before, I do not think this is natural toning. I think someone used eggs or something and toned it. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have for the night. I hope that everyone's having a good night, because pretty much have nothing else, because that's all I got.